look over there. Big red lips, long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk over there. Way down, would you look over there. Long black boots and long hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk over there. Ain't no girl like, ain't no girl like that. No girl like that. I just want to talk to you. Want to talk to you. Come on, let's drive around. Take the time down, fool around. Come on, let's drive around. Take the time down, fool around. Hey!
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Show me the money!
Hey, now, would you look over there?
Big red lips and long blonde hair.
Say, come here, baby, let me get you a stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there.
Boom. All right. Let's get a double Ric Flair because it is a football-friendly Friday. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for that football-friendly Friday. It is November 18th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your friendly Friday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your good friends right here at hockeypicks.com. Sign up today and follow the top pickers each and every day right here at hockeypicks.com. Don't forget, make those parlays, calculate those parlays at parlaycalculator.com. Put in your figures, and then once you do that, hit the calculate, and you will see how much you win on that parlay this weekend. And speaking of calculators, if you're following college basketball, you want to check out atscalculator.com. Now, there is a game tonight between Indiana and Xavier, and I already did the forecast right here, and you can see we do have the away team, so that would be Indiana winning by 7.13 points, and the over-under landing on 139.9, and that's how you use the ATS calculator at atscalculator.com. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond, a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It's a overcast day here in the nation's capital. A little bit cool, -4 degrees, and hopefully it's nice and sunny where you're at, and hopefully you're having a good start to your morning. I know that sounds like a coffee announcement, eh? A good start to your morning, but hopefully you're having a good day. And I see right off the hop, Gloria K, a member for 9 months straight, and you know what? That deserves a round of applause. Gloria K is in the house, and good morning, Gloria K. I also see my good friend FU Cancer, and you know what? Just because I'm in a great mood today, and I said, I've got to bring more bells and whistles to the show, and I got this just for you, FU Cancer.
Hey, hey, hey!
There you go. Hey, little Fat Alberts for you.
Hey, hey, hey!
So this way, I don't have to use my voice all the time. I can just use my new soundbite. So thinking of you guys all the time. And good morning, folks. And good morning to FU Cancer.
Hey, hey, hey!
So there you go. Morning, gents. Good morning, Scott's in the house. And headed to University of New Brunswick Reds versus St. Xavier game tonight. A little hockey action there on the East Coast. And tonight, and good morning, Bullpen. Who's Mizzou? The network is in the house. Woohoo! Thanks, Ron. You are the man. Yeah, we try to please here. And that's what we try to do here at the Raymond Report. All right, got a great show lined up for you guys here today. And we're going to get right off the hop, and we're going to go right into what we always do. We always go feed the ponies, and we're gonna skip the little intro today. You know what? Because it's a football Friday, it's heavy football. There's NBA, NHL. We're gonna get right into it. Let's go right to the horses and feed the ponies. It's a Maine's World's in house. Good morning, Jermaine Brown. And yeah, so the bullpen is rolling into the morning. All right. Yeah, they're off and running today at Gulfstream Park at Hallandale, Florida. And if you are in the Florida area, you want to go to Gulfstream today, because in race number 1 today at Gulfstream, it's a $43,000 maiden option claiming race, 12:25 post time at Gulfstream Park, 6 furlongs on the dirt. And I'm going to recommend 612 today in race number 1 at Gulfstream Park. Wheats Heath with Edgar Zayas taking a ride on the 6 horse Wheats Heath, and a 12-1 morning line. The number 1 horse, Starship Renegade, Miguel Angel Vasquez in the saddle. Look at that, Miguel, 41% last 100 race. The number 1 horse today is 9-2 in race number 1. And Tuna Stamps, Tuna and Stamps. I wonder if Bill Parcells owns that horse. Tuna and Stamps. Lionel Reyes taking a ride here on the number 2 horse, Tuna and Stamps, 3-1 morning line. And the number 3 horse, your value play of the day, the Joker play of the day, Drew Brees with Perez in the saddle on Drew Brees. And that's a pretty funny horse name. Funny the way they spell Drew right there. J-R-U-E. Not bad. All right, so if you're going to play today, I would go with the number 1 horse. You know what? No, I'm going to go with Tuna. Tuna and Stamps with Rays in the saddle, 3-1 morning line. So take the number 2 horse today at Gulfstream Park. Take him to win into place. Put $10 to win, $10 to place on the 2, Tuna and Stamps. This way, he comes in first, you get paid twice. Comes in second, you get paid once, which is also nice. And you want to take that today at Gulfstream Park. All right, FU Cancers, where's neighbors? First snowfall in Nova Scotia. Is that where you're from there, Scott? NSCA? Is that Nova Scotia, Canada? But yeah, we got a little bit of snow here this weekend, so it's there we go. We're started, eh? Yesterday was my official walk with boots on yesterday. You know, we walk the dog every day, and it's a 45-minute walk. It's a good walk, and obviously, I wasn't too happy. We had to carry boots. Hey, there goes that 10-pound of layer that I got to start walking. It's like putting on a backpack of weights on. All right. Let's get to the show, and the next thing on the agenda is we got a full charge slate of games here today. And as I promised you guys, remember I said I need sound effects when I do the SBI, and I went and got some sound effects. Hope you guys like it.
What a performance! Why, I haven't been that entertained since the stock market crash of 1929.
Your mum is so fat
many
that when
of
she
them.
skips a meal, the stock market drops.
There you go. That's the new soundbite when we do the SBI, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you missed it here, I'll play it one more time.
What a performance! Why, I haven't been that entertained since the stock market crash of 1929.
Your
many
mum
of
is
them.
so fat that when she skips a meal, the stock market drops.
Hey, trying to add a little humor to the show too, right? All right, that is the SBI soundbite. That only means one thing now from now on. That will be the intro to the sports betting index. And let's take a look at the NHL last night in the Betman circuit. In fact, 6 favorites, 7 underdogs won. And look at the puck line. Hopefully you guys had Dallas last night. That was the only NHL play I had. Dallas on the puck line. We gave it on the show yesterday. It looked like we were going to cruise in the first period, right? 4-0 first period. You know, I flip around, I come back 5-2, 5-3, and go, what the hell's going on here? It was like a New York minute right there in Florida last night. But a little Pepto-Bismol in the third period, and we got the job done. We did get the old W, right? We got the W. There, my new soundbite. This because of you, FU Cancer, and yeah, now you got me on the Fat Albert bandwagon right now. All right, so the one thing I want to show you guys with the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, is when you look at the bottom here. If you just click on the like, say if you want to look on how the favorites are doing and the underdogs, you click on SU. Straight up favorites, and it tells you 1 day, 3 day, 7 days. If you're a visual person and you can read better looking at the visual, then you can see like 1 month, 3 month, and it tells you the percentage, right? And if you want to compare the underdogs, look at that. So the underdogs yesterday, and then pretty much balance on year to date, right? So that's a nice little feature if you want to know at atsstats.com. Go to NBA, and we can do the same thing with the National Basketball Association. So you just take away all the numbers or the charts straight up, the 1 day, 3 days, 7 days. So you can see straight up in the NBA is pretty much 60% or more, right? And then what you want to do, the dogs, look at the dogs winning. That's the straight up factor. Now, if you want to see ATS factor, you can add that like this. and you take away the dogs and straight up. And so that's ATS favorites. And then if you want to compare it to the underdogs, look at that. Look at the underdogs. Man, dogs are really doing well in the NBA. So that is a good way to gauge your bets if you're reading and if you're a visual person, right? If you see, I need to see, like, some people, they see numbers like, okay, yeah, I get it. But when you see visual, it paints a better, clearer picture, right? Maybe that's the better way to say it. Paints a better picture. All right, 64.1% of the favorites winning in the NBA the last 7 days, but only covering 45% on the 7-day average. So keep an eye out on that. And that is your SBI for a Friday, a football Friday, November 18th. See, the show is always better when you get a little bit of sound bites, right? It just makes it a little bit more fun. All right, and I also got a nice NBA soundbite for you guys too. We're going to do the NBA. We'll do the NHL since there's only one game, and then we'll go right into the NBA, and we'll handicap the NBA games. All right, since there's only one game tonight in the Bettman circuit, which means there'll probably be like 100 tomorrow. Hey, that's the one thing with the NHL, right? They'll put like one game and then 100 in one day, and I see my good friend Brent Vienne's in the house.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I know you love that, Brent, so that's why I do it for you. All right, so the LA Kings are taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the Kings, a minus 120 favorite tonight. 6.5 is the total. This game will be played in Vancouver at 10 o'clock. Kings 7-3 in their last 10, while Vancouver 5-5. And when you look at the over/under, 4-5-1 for the Kings, but 80% of the last 10 games for the Vancouver Canucks have gone over the total. Forgot to play my little NHL soundbite there. There we go. Now it feels like hockey, right? Play a little bit of organ, and go Habs, go. Go Habs, go. Or go Sens, go. Hey, I'm just making my wife happy. That's why I say Habs, go. All right, the LA 6-3 in their last 10 at home, or on the road. Overall, but only 5-5 on the road. But that's pretty good. That is still pretty good. And when you look at the Vancouver Canucks, well, as my good friend Joe Namath would have said,
Struggling.
Yeah, 5-12 on the year, but 12-5 to the over. So that's the good news. If you like betting Vancouver hockey, you bet the over. You've won 12 of 17 bets, and we're getting close to that 20-game mark. One thing in hockey or basketball, in games where leagues where there's a lot of volume, that 20-game mark is, to me, is really a landmark that I use to really judge where I'm going to bet the rest of the year, right? Normally, when you give a field of 20 games to teams, you have quite a good idea who's who in the zoo, right? So we're getting close to that 20 landmark game, and to me, that's where you separate the A, B's, and C's, and then I get a clear picture on teams that I'm going to bet, and look for value, right? Value, percentage play, and the performance cycles. Now, looking at tonight's game, LA and Vancouver, the Vancouver Canucks, if there's one thing they do like playing LA, they're 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games, but I can't trust this Vancouver team. I'm going to go beer pizza money on the LA Kings, minus 120, and as Stone Cold would say,
and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold did say so, and let's get to some NBA. All right.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, we're getting ready for some NBA action right now. It's my new NBA intro music. You guys like it? Gives me high energy. I feel the energy when I play this music.
Y'all ready for this?
Move it. All right, there's my new NBA intro, and hopefully I don't get a sound bite, or what do you call it? Those license hits. If so, then we got to do like the Chicago Bulls song, and it goes to the wayside. But you know what? That NBA just that intro music just pumps me up. All right, and also I got the. Can't forget the chimes, right, when you do the games. All right, the Miami Heat taking on the Washington Wizards. Now, the Wizards, a 1-point favorite. The over-under is set at 219.5. And I do have a 107.6 to 107.8. And we have the over-under at 215.5. So we do like this game to stay under the total. Washington coming off a 121-120 loss to OKC in their last game. While the Heat, they lost to the Raptors. Don't forget the chimes. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, baby. Yeah, we do like this one here. That's a good one, right? All right, so tonight, I have 45.1% chance of winning here for the Wizards. Miami's going to come in a nasty mood. They've lost their last 2 against the point spread, and they lost their last game against Toronto, but they are 5-5 in their last 10, but not a good point spread team, right? 2-8 against the number. We're at Washington. 5-5, 6-4, and you know what? I think I'll wait this one out. All right, the next game. You got the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Cavaliers, a 9.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 221.5. I do like the Cavs in this one. 115-106, the over-under to land on 221.39. A 75% chance of winning here for Cleveland. But keep in mind, they're on a 5-game losing streak. They're coming off that long West Coast trip, but they played their last game at home against the Bucks. And, not a good last 5 games, right? So be bearish. You know the rules. We don't bet on bearish type teams. So you got C bearish against B bearish, and one of the rules in the Raymond report, we don't bet on bearish teams. So I think I'm going to pass in this one. If you do bet this one, take a look at the total. We got 221.3, but the bookmaker's right there, right in the neighborhood at 221.5. So be careful betting the Cavs or the total tonight. All right, next game. All right, you got the Bucks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, and looking at the Bucks last game, a 113-98 loss one against Cleveland Cavaliers, while the Sixers, they lost to the, I'm reading this wrong. Maybe I got the wrong glasses on. They won against the Utah Jazz 105-98. So you got 2 teams coming off a win. In fact, Philadelphia on a 2-game straight up and ATS win streak, while the Bucks, they've won their last game, 7-3 straight up in the last 10, 5-5 against the number, and 70% of the Milwaukee Bucks' last 10 games have gone under the total. Now, my value index, I always shop for value, right? Minus 3.2 and minus 1.1. So if you like Philadelphia, fair market value tonight, but if you like the Bucks, you're getting really good value. You're getting good value on the Bucks. And let me go see how Philadelphia does against Milwaukee at home. Let me go to the Bible. Let's go to the Raymond report. That's what I call my Bible right here. Oh, look at this. Milwaukee in their last 10, 7-3 straight up, but 6-4 against the number. But a lot of those games were the playoff games, I believe, right? No, maybe not. Okay, good. Hey, pretty good. That's a pretty good number right there. So yeah, if you like Milwaukee tonight, you're getting plus 1.5. That is a good number right there. And A neutral, B neutral. I do like the Bucks here tonight, but I have to check the lineup. I gotta see who is in the lineup. In fact, let me do a quick scan right now. Hey, let me do a quick scan to see if Giannis is in. All right, so English. All right, so it looks like we're good. Looks like all the main ones will be in the lineup. So we are looking pretty good. All right, so I do like the Milwaukee Bucks. SGA carried OKC. Let's go. Yeah, Gillis Alexander. And don't forget the chimes. Yeah, we got the chimes. Let's go, Thomas Maggio. How you doing there, Thomas? And good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your football-friendly Friday. You're watching the Raymond Report here on our YouTube channel, or wherever you can download your podcast. You can find the Raymond Report Sports Betting Podcast each and every day, Monday to Friday, 10:30 Eastern. All right. OKC taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis -6 against the Thunder. Thunder coming off a big win against the Wizards, 121-120, while Memphis, they lost a tight one there to New Orleans. In fact, that was a good game till about the last 3 minutes. 113-102 was the final for Memphis. The Grizzlies' last 3 games have gone under the total. They are now riding a 2-game straight up and ATS losing streak. 48.9 the strength of schedule. They are 5-5 in their last 10. I had -2.06, so we do have value. In fact, they're a bit overvalued tonight against OKC, but OKC's been a pretty good covering machine, right? 7-3 in their last 10 against the spread. 80% of the games have gone over the total, and I do have +6 for OKC. C neutral. The only thing I don't like, it's a C type team. So if you do like the Thunder tonight, keep in mind they've won the 5 against the spread, right? So they're on a 1-game win streak. They've covered the last 5. When does the gravy train end, right? That's the only thing I don't like. I don't like anytime. One of my rules of thumb is this: when you're on a 3-game ATS or a win streak, that's fine. You get on a 4, you can talk me in and out of it, and then once you get to 5, then it's really that's gambling, right? Because but OKC's been a good covering machine. So you know what? Beer pizza money on the Thunder tonight. Orlando taking on the Chicago Bulls. Now the Bulls a minus 9-point favorite. The over-under is set at 222. And I got a 119-108 score here favoring the Chicago Bulls. 227.4 is the total. So we do like this game to go over the total. The Orlando Magic coming off a 126-108 loss to the T-Wolves, while the Chicago Bulls, they lost to the Pelicans. Bulls, as my good friend Joe Namath would say,
Struggling.
Yeah, they are struggling. 3-7 in their last 10 games. And looking at the point spread, 4-6. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Yeah, not going really well here for Billy Donovan, who's a really good coach, but he's going to have to get this train back on the tracks because they are falling off the tracks. And now they're C bearish against C neutral. Obviously, here's the thing. You got two teams with losing records. Misery loves company. They're meeting tonight at the United Center. I don't know. First of all, you know the rules, right? We don't lay 9 points. And do you really want to trust Orlando on the road? I think there's better games you can bet on. Indiana taking on the Houston Rockets now. The Rockets coming off a big win over the Mavericks, 101-92. That's a tight rivalry right there. The Battle of Texas. And Houston won that round. You got the Pacers taking on the Rockets coming off a 125-113 win over Charlotte the other night. We do give Buddy Buckets and the Pacers a 64.1% chance of winning. Hey, the Pacers have now covered their last 8 games against the point spread, which is phenomenal. 6-4 straight up, 8-2 in their last 10 against the point spread. And looking at the value index tonight, I do have the Pacers at -1. So if you round it off, it's -1. So Indiana a bit overvalued tonight on the road against Houston. And let's see how Indiana has done in Houston. Let's go to the Bible, the NBA Rain Report. Let's go to Indiana and right there against the Rockets. And let's see how they've done in Houston in their last 10 trips. 4-6, 3-7 against the number. Not too good, right? Not good. All right, so we're going to pass on that. But if you do like the total, I got the total landing on 239.1, and the bookmakers got 236. In fact, let's go see what the ATS calculator has on the total. Let's go Indiana. Hey, look at that. Okay, the other Indiana. That's Indiana College. Let's go there, and let's go Houston. Houston, do we have a problem tonight or what? Let me see here. Houston survey says, what's the total landing on? 229. So yeah, it does like it to go under the total, and we have 236. So all right, be careful betting that one at the Toyota Center tonight. All right, probably the game of the night will be in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. You got the Boston Celtics taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. I love the Celtics. I think the Celtics going to be my Eastern Conference pick to win the Eastern Conference, maybe the NBA Finals. Right now, I think Boston, to me, is maybe one of the best teams in the NBA. They're on an 8-game win streak. 116 and 114 is what I have as a final score. I had them listed at -7.2, so a bit overvalued tonight. But you're taking on a Pelican team who's coming off a 3-game win streak straight up and against the number, off a 124-110 victory over Chicago. Strength of schedule, though, 46 and 44 respectively. So they're playing the middle of the pack type teams, and -4. Obviously, if you like value, it's on the Pelicans. If you want the percentage play, it's on the Celtics. And when you look at the performance cycles, I have to give a lean here to the Boston Celtics. So if you do like Boston here tonight, take the money line. Don't lay the points. Denver taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Now the Denver Nuggets coming off a loss over the New York Knicks, 106-103, while Dallas losing to Houston. So two teams coming off a loss. In fact, look at Dallas. 10 against the spread. They've lost their last 10 games against the point spread. Wow. And they are what on the season? 8-6. Imagine that. You have a winning record on the season, but you've lost your last 10 games against the point spread. Holy cow. Hey, I need a Lombardi right there. Yeah, what the hell's going on in Dallas these days? Hey, I don't know. I think there's only one word to say here: pass. Phoenix taking on the Utah Jazz. Now the Phoenix Suns going into Utah. In fact, let's go take a look at the history between these two teams in Utah. Phoenix coming into this game as a 1.5 point road favorite, and look at that, they are 4-6, but 6-4 against the number. And Utah 3-7 straight up and against the number against the Phoenix Suns. I like the Suns here, 64.4% chance of winning. I'm gonna go money line on the Phoenix Suns, and hopefully we get CP3 back in the lineup here tonight. Let me see what his status is right now. Game time decision, so still waiting for that ankle to heal. Utah coming in on a 3-game losing streak. The line value, I had -5.8 for Phoenix and -4.87 for the Utah Jazz. You know, this is supposed to be a football show here today. It feels like all I'm doing is NBA. Hey, it's like, oh, and I forgot the times here. Come on, guys. You're supposed to keep me on track here with the times. All right, I do like the Suns here today. New York taking on the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Warriors, your NBA Finals champion, not looking like champions right now. 6-9 on the season. 3-7 their last 10. They're a touchdown favorite tonight against the New York Knicks. 234 is the total, and I got a 117-110 final. It's just amazing how the forecast is always hovering around the number, right? Just floats around the bookmaker's number. But what I like to do is go look at value, and you can see there's no value on any of these teams here tonight. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you're getting value on the Knicks. I had them at +1. You're getting +7. Is that a reputation, number right there? Because you're playing the thing whenever you get like a team like Golden State or the Super Bowl champions, there's that hype and that reputation and a little bit of a little bit of polish on those teams, right? Because they're last year's champion, and obviously they're going to turn it around eventually, right? That's the theme. Oh, they're eventually they're due factors to turn it over. When a team sucks, they suck. Then it's just tough for them to get back on track, right? 82.6. I think if you go on this one, you take New York on a 2-game win streak straight up and against the number, and a big win against the Denver Nuggets last game. I'm going to go New York. Beer and pizza money, though. Beer and pizza money on the New York Knicks. And your last game, Misery Loves Company Bowl, and they're going to play it tonight at what is it called there now? The Crypto.com arena. I don't know if any arena wants to be called by currency anymore. Hey, I think they better go back to the old Staples Center. But forgot the. Come on, guys. Chimes. Come on, chimes. LA Lakers, a 7-point favorite against the Pistons. 224 is the total. And we do have the LA Lakers winning 115-105. You'll run landing on 220.5. So we do like this game to stay under the total. And looking at both these teams, wow, ugly. Hey, just ugly. As Joe Namath would say.
Struggling.
Both teams struggling. Look at the Pistons. A 5-game losing streak and 3-13 on the year.
Struggling.
Against a 3-10 Laker team on the year.
Struggling.
Yeah, it's... Man, what a mess. Hey, that's the only thing I get. That's the right word. What a mess it is there in LA. All right, so I do have the Lakers winning by 10. But again, C-on-C type crime, and we don't touch that. Right, Denis the goalie? Where's...
No, you don't do that.
No,
you don't do that. Oh, no, never.
Why not?
Why not? Against the rules. You're stupid when you do that.
Yeah, if you're stupid if you bet the Lakers and Pistons, eh? Well, not stupid, but you know what I mean. Against the rules.
No, you don't do that.
I love that soundbite. All right, there you go. That is your NHL, NBA soundbite for today. And soundbite, I mean your forecast. Hey, I got too many soundbites going through, so that's what's in my mind right now. All right, Epic Clutch says Mav rested Lucas, so that's the only reason why Dallas lost. Yeah, good point. Is Zion ever going to play? You know what? This guy is starting to be like Porzingis a bit. Eh? The gent woodworker. Zion is in hockey. Like Benoit Brunet used to play for the Habs, and he was always injured, and they call him the Porcelain King, right? Zion is starting to be like the Porcelain King, like Porzingis. Like, I say it all the time. Are you hurt or injured, right? And are you available to play? And it's not who's injured, who's available to play. And it's just unfortunate that a player like Zion can't stay healthy. All right, NFL baby, let's go punch some people in the mouth.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Boom, NFL action right to you right here at atsstats.com. And we do have some nice trends for you guys here today. But we're going to go right into the action, and we're going to go right to NFL. Nice winner last night. I gave out the Tennessee Titans, one of my premium picks, and that was a nice winner. Had the Titans play. The thing is, with the game last night, the Packers, I didn't like their situational handicapping spot. Emotional win, and anytime you get a team coming off a big upset win against Dallas, It's at home. It's emotional. And when I saw Aaron Rodgers says, maybe we're back, now we just got to keep building off that. No, you are what your record says you are. And at the end of the day, the one thing with variable teams, they get better. They're like a fine wine. They get better with time, right? And watch out for Tennessee. When you can run the football down the opponent's throat, it's one of the anybody who's played football and O-line and D-line in the trenches, ask any offensive lineman and D-lineman. When you can run the football, it breaks the opponent's will. When you can run the football right down their throats, it just breaks the opponent's will because there's nothing you can do about it. It's like when you're in the ocean and the waves comes. You're just being flown around everywhere, and here comes Derrick Henry right through the waves. Right? It's just the one thing I am always amazed with great running backs is their vision on when to make their jump cuts and knowing to cut or go through a person. Right? And the one thing with Derrick Henry, he'll go right through you, right? So it's just Tennessee. What a great run game! When you can run the football, you can run the clock, and you can control your opponent. All right, so let's get into the action right now. Let's go to NFL, and you know what? Let's make this a football Friday to remember. All right, so we go Carolina, Baltimore. Actually, you know what? No, Washington. I'm going to stick to my script. Washington taking on Houston. Now, the law of average. Remember last week I told you guys the law of average did pretty well. What's the law of average? And if you are new to sports betting, this is one of the tips that I wrote in my book, courtesy of my good friend Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com. Ross was on the show yesterday. He gave out a nice pick on the Cowboys. So if you guys were wondering what Ross the Boss was liking yesterday, it was the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so in my book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets, one of the tips is this. You want to play in a team that lost against the spread versus a team that won against the spread, but if you can get them to lose straight up and against the spread versus a team that won straight up and against the spread, that's like a daily double right there. So the teams, the law of average team, it went 6-1 last week. I showed you guys early in the week. It did really well last week. It went 6-1. This week's teams, the law of average picks, Eagles, Texans, Cowboys, 49ers. Those are your law of average plays this week. Now, Washington taking on the Houston Texans. Now, the Commanders on the season, 5-5. You know what? They're right there. They're right there. So they're in the, they can smell playoffs, right, Jim Mora? Playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, we are talking playoffs. All right, Washington. I don't know if I can put that in the same sentence, but I got a kick out of Troy Aikman last week with Joe Buck talking about Riverboat Ron, and Ron Rivera, the Riverboat Gambler. 4th and inches, 4th and 1. What does Riverboat Ron do? Yeah, he'll take out the dice and he'll roll them. I love it. Hey, you gotta love a coach named Ron, right? That's par for the course. Hey, Ric Flair. Hey, good timing right there. All right, so Washington minus 3.5, Houston 40 is the total, and I got 22.7 for the Commanders, 18.1 for Houston. The one thing with Houston though, at the beginning of the year, they were pretty underrated, right? There's that perception that they're a really bad team, but even though they lost, they did cover some spreads at the beginning, but the wheels are falling off. 4-game losing streak right now, 0-3 at home, have yet to give their faithfuls a W in Texas. And looking at Washington, 3-2 on the road, a little bit of a road warrior. And in Houston, 1-1 straight up. And looking at the numbers, I do like Washington this weekend. Give me Washington against the point spread. And let me take a look down here if there's anything to really write home about. Washington Commanders, since 1983 on 5 days rest, 21-12-2 against the point spread. 21-12-2 against the point spread. 5 days rest. Oh yeah, Monday night, right? The Eagles. That's right. They played on the Monday night football. So yeah, coming off that Monday night football game too, right? And they got Carolina on deck while the Houston Texans are taking the Tennessee Titans next week. Let me see if I got any good trends on Houston or the under. Anytime the last 3 years in the NFL, any home team coming off an 8-point loss, 9-3 to the under. So any NFL home teams, the last 3 years, 9-3 to the under. So if you like the total in that one, that's an interesting stat right there, and trends, right? All right, people on Texans, says Thomas Maggio. Oh, really? Everybody, the public's on the Texans? Interesting. All right. Very, very interesting. All right, let me go to the next game, and that is Eagles. Eagles Where's Philadelphia? There you go. Philadelphia against Jeff Saturday's Indianapolis Colts. This is an interesting game. You know, you tell Matty Ice, oh, you're fired. And no, you're not. Just kidding. You're back. You know, it's just, and then you got a Jimmy Jones Part 2 owner. Then you got the Eagles coming off a Monday Night Football loss, and what they did, the Commanders did, anytime you beat a team that's unbeaten or you beat really good teams, you're giving your opponents a blueprint on how to beat that team, right? In theory, when you look at because there's a 29 other, was it 32 teams in the NFL? There's 31 other defensive coordinators. Okay, give me that blueprint, give me that the game plan that the Commanders had last week, and how did they beat the Eagles? Well, that's Bill Belichick is known for that, right? The one thing Bill Belichick would do, and that's why he's a master at coaching, he takes away your strength on offense, right? Especially the young quarterbacks. He knows how to really get to the young guys. But yeah, so good job by the Commanders last week to give the Eagles their first loss. But still, the Eagles 4-1 straight up in the last 5, 2-3 against the number. My value on this game here today, I had -10 for Philly, and I had plus 4.5 for the Colts. And when you make a change like that in the middle of a season, sometimes there's two things, right? I'm not going to be not a rocket science to bring this up. You can go one or two ways. You can be really, really good, or you can really be bad. Very rarely do you stay the same or even Steven. But I think the Eagles are just a bit overvalued this weekend. I think -6.5. I think that's more of a reflection of what their record is. And when you look at the Colts' last 10 games against Philadelphia, they are 7-3 against the number. My line on the game, I had 4.5, plus 4.5, and we're getting plus 6.5. I think you got to go Colts in this one. I think Indianapolis plus 6.5 is where you want to lean in this game this weekend. So give me Indianapolis plus the points. Let me take a look at the trends here. So, all right. So this is Philadelphia. Last 3 years coming off a homestand, 3-7 to the under. So after that home game, they're 70% to the under. And let me take a look at the Colts. The Colts. Oh, look at this. The last 3 years in the NFL, home teams coming off a 5-point win. Remember, Ross keeps talking about, a wise man once told him, 5 is a very, very funny number. 16-4 against the point spread the last 3 years. Home teams coming off a 5-point win, 16-4 against the numbers. Give me the Colts this weekend, and that is actually, it's one of my members play this weekend. So Indianapolis plus the points. All right, let's get to the game. Now, this is an interesting game. You got the Detroit Lions. All right, you got the Lions coming off a big win in the Windy City last week, and but they're still the Lions, and there's 3-6, and you're taking on the football New York Giants, right? The New York Football Giants, the G-Men. You know what? With Brian Dable there, they found new life, and what's good about the Giants right now is they got a former offense coordinator who was the OC for the Buffalo Bills, coming off, look what he did in Buffalo, right? Did a great job, and he seems he's found new life for Saquon Barkley on the run game. And sometimes, when you get a coordinator coming in and he doesn't, if he's a passing guy or a running guy, and Dable, to me, it looks like he's more balanced. So the thing I like about that is that he found a way to get Barkley running. The Giants, though, they have there's some crazy records to the under for the New York Football Giants. Now, I do have a 24-21 win here for the G-Men, and they're looking at their last 7 games. They're 5-2, 4-1 in their last 5. I had -4.5, and you can see we're getting 3.5. So fair market value if you do like the Giants. And could this be a field goal game? That's the question I have to ask, right? The one thing with the Lions, you look at their last couple of games, 31-30 against the Bears. So they beat Chicago in Chicago, a division rival, right? Still, it's a division game. When you win your division games, those are always tough, right? 15-9 against the Packers at home, and then 27-31 against the Dolphins. They took it on the chin against the Cowboys and the Patriots. So there's 2 games that they want to throw out. 45-40 against the Seahawks. So what I'm really getting at, Detroit's not a really, they're it's not like the Lions of the last couple of years. They're a competitive football team. Jared Goff, middle of the journeyman quarterback. Not too bad. He'll be competitive. And looking at the Giants, 24-16 win over the Texans, losing to the Seahawks. Now, the one thing I'm noticing, cupcake game, good game. Cupcake game, good game. Cupcake, good game. So the strength of schedule is really not helping the Giants. The one thing in football, you want to play good teams, right? Because when you play non-competitive, non-playoff teams and you beat them, it's like a false hope that you think you're good, right? But you're beating bad teams. You want to beat good teams and like A, B, and C type teams, right? And if I look at the Giants, let me see in my and this is a bad team too, so it doesn't really help this situation out. But if I go to my strength of schedule and I go to NFL, and let's say the Giants, let's go to New York Football Giants at home against those C-type teams, and let's say we do let's do last 10 games. Do they beat the beatables? Yeah, 7-3, 6-4 straight up. All that to say, give me the Giants straight up this weekend. All right, is the Joker out? Why Mavs favored by 9? People on Texans, NFL baby. Yeah, let's get to the National Football League. But yeah. All right, don't forget, if you have any feedback, and hit that like button if you enjoyed the show so far. Always appreciate the love. All right, so let's get to the next game here. Let's go to how about them Cowboys? I got to get my Jimmy Johnson soundbite, eh? Every time I bring on the Cowboys. Hey, how about our offense?
How about our offense? When are we going to put it together?
Yeah, when are we going to put it together? All right, let me see here. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, we saw the game last week. Minnesota off an emotional, big upset win over the Buffalo Bills, while the Dallas Cowboys, tough game against the Packers, but, tough but not tough. It's still Aaron Rodgers, still Lambeau. Like, there's still, you got to go in there, even though on paper you should win the game. In theory, you got to go and prove it and do it, right? And they didn't do that last week. So, really good football teams have to put them away. You got to, when you're a good football team, you got to be able to play from behind. You got to be able to come back in certain situations, because you're never going to go 17-0. You're never going to be, winning by 30 at halftime. There's going to be some diversity in football games, right? You're going to be challenged. You're going to be in critical situations, but the good teams find a way to win. And last week, Dallas didn't find a way to win, right? But going in this weekend, 2.5 is the line, and 48.5 is the total. I do have a 27-23 bounce back win for the Cowboys, and Ross Benjamin loves them this weekend. I'm with Ross. I like the Cowboys here. And if you look at their last 10, though, Vikings has their numbers 7-3 against the numbers in Dallas or in Minnesota. And when Dallas travels to Minnesota, not good. 5-5 straight up, 3-7 against the number. That's just indicators, right? That's just indicators, but and it tells you what the bookmaker's mindset was in those type of games, right? For the numbers, 3-7 against the point spread, not great, but I do like the Cowboys this weekend. Give me Dallas. Let's see if they bounce back here. And if you want to be a playoff team, and who's really going to come out of the NFC to represent for the Super Bowl, right? Could Dallas be one of those teams? It's wide open. I think in the AFC there's only a handful of teams, but NFC, you can pick straws right there. All right, so Dallas, let me see here, 8-5 against non-division opponents the last 3 years. Let me see any other good stats here we can talk about. Nothing really. Since 1983, coming off a loss against an NFC North Division opponent, 11-5. Interesting. That's all I got to say about that. And how about the over/under for the Vikings? The Vikings, look at this. Before a division game, so who are they playing next? Minnesota is facing the Packers. Wow. They got the Packers next week, but it's not it's a different Packer team, right? So before a division game at home, 22-11 the last 3 years. So watch out for that. Since 83. Before a division game, since 83, 22-11 against the point spread at home. All right, interesting numbers, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this one. Cleveland taking on the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you guys read the weather report, they're expecting snow as tall as Doug Flutie to be in Buffalo this weekend. They're predicting like almost 6 feet of snow in Buffalo. I thought Canada only got 6 feet of snow, but apparently it's in Buffalo. Buffalo, a 7.5 point favorite. The over/under set at 49. Again, this game will be played now in Detroit. A lot of traveling for the Bills this weekend, right? They're thought they're going to be at home. They're going to go to Detroit, come back Thursday night, Thanksgiving against the Lions. So or the Colts, or no, aren't they playing? Are they playing on the Thursday night game? I thought they were. I'll have to double check on that. But yeah, tough spot here for the Bills. 2018 is what I have as a final. 2-game losing streak. For a team that was predicted to win the Super Bowl, 2-game losing streak probably doesn't sit well with McDermott and company, right? Especially with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's got to stop being as risky. As a quarterback, you're taking some risks sometimes. You're throwing in tight windows. You really got to eliminate those high percentage plays, right? That's the only thing I would tell Josh Allen. Look, let's work on your confidence back here. Let's give you some safe throws. You're gonna have to make some throws, but just make better reads. Easier said than done. I know that, but I do have the Bills at -11, way overvalued here at 7.5. Cleveland in their last game, coming off they got smoked in Miami, 39-17, and as a road underdog this year, the Cleveland Browns. Where is it? 1-3. The average score is 27-20. So you can see the bookmaker is in the ballpark with the number, right? I do like Buffalo, but I'm not laying 7.5, and 39 is the total. But you know what? That number's been going up and down all week because first in Buffalo, then everybody found out there's gonna be a lot of snow, so the number came down. Oh, we're going back to Detroit. Okay, let's gotta get that number back up. It's at 49. It's just absolutely nuts. All right, let's get to the next one. The New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots. Now, Belichick is the master against young quarterbacks, right? And these two teams met a couple of weeks ago, and the final score was 22-17 at New York. Now they're going back to Foxborough, and the Patriots -3.5, the over-under at 37.5. 22-19 is what I have as a final. Was that the score in game one? 22-19? Let me see here. 22-17. Okay, pretty much the same score. So I do have a 69.8% chance of winning here on the Patriots. And always remember, right? It's a value percentage play. And looking at the percentage play, 69.8. Will that hook come into play? That's what I'm wondering. 22-19. We got them winning by 4. But the one thing with the Jets, they might be your uncomfortable pick of the week, right? Every time you think the Jets are, okay, they're going to be the old Jets. No, these aren't your old Jets. These guys, they fight. And I like the way they fight. I think the Jets could be the play this week. But the only bad news is the 0-10 in Foxborough, the last 10. So that's the only thing that scares me. And look at New England. In the last 10 head-to-head meetings, so we're talking 5 years since he played 2 games. I don't know if 10-0, 8-2 against the number. I think if you like New England, you take them on the money line. But I wouldn't. I would. Do I take the Jets +3? No. Patriots money line, I don't think I touch. Just the respect value for the Jets playing better football this year. And if they go in there and they get the spread or the win, well, I'm not surprised. They're 4-0 against the point spread on the road this year. Look at that. The New York Jets, the Jets, Jets, 4-0 straight up and against the number on the road this year. Up against Belichick, though. Belichick, they're coming off a bye as well, right? Look at that. They're coming off a bye. And normally, let me see here. Teams coming off, home favorites coming off a bye this year. 10-2 straight up, 7-5 against the number. Pretty good. Let me go look at the trends. Any good trends to report about? Let me see here. 3-2. No. 21. Nothing. Opponent coming off a bye. So since 1983, anytime the Jets are playing an opponent coming off a bye, 10-4-1. And how about the Belichick here? Opponents coming off a bye. Okay. Back-to-back ATS win. Nah, nothing there. All right, I don't see really nothing that's earth-shattering, so no trends to really talk about. Love the Pats, says Thomas Maggio. No way Seattle wins the NFC. San Francisco's better. Yeah, ever since Ever since the trade where the McCaffrey, since they picked up McCaffrey, San Fran, but they looked really bad when they played. Who was it they played? Who was it that they played? They just got destroyed. And I said, oh, okay, maybe they're not a playoff team. I'll have to go back and look. All right, the Chicago Bears taking on the Atlanta Falcons. This is an interesting game. Right? Atlanta off that hot start and then cool down just a bit. The Falcons looking like the old Falcons now, 4-6. But the one thing with the Falcons, a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde, 3-2 at home, straight up and against the number. While Chicago 1-4. Chicago very competitive at home. Tough loss last week against the Lions, but only 1-4 on the road this year. And looking at the line value, I do have the Falcons at -4.5, so fair market value. I had +8 for Chicago. 26-23, so basically a field goal game, right? So if you do like this game, I would recommend the Falcons on the money line. And but the bad news is they were only 2-8 against the point spread against the Bears in their last 10. 80% of those games have gone under the total. Atlanta, though, pretty tough at home. 3-2, 60% against the point spread. And let me see if there's any numbers. Look at that, no check marks. Except for down here for the after playing Detroit. Oh, any NFL teams on the road after playing the Lions, 14-7 against the point spread. And on the totals, let me see if there's any good totals to talk about. Nothing really. Oh, look at that. Coming off, so Atlanta coming off a 10-point loss, 1-6 to the under since 1983. All right, just a trend, just an indicator, just giving you the facts, man, just the facts. Carolina against Baltimore. All right, let's see what the bookmakers line. You got 12.5 is the line, 41.5 is the total. 26-14 is what we have as a score for the Ravens. 4-1 in their last 5 on a 3-game win streak, and they are 2-2 at home though. Not a really great home record, but who have they played at home? Let me see. At home, they've played the Buccaneers, 27-22. Oh, actually, sorry, the Browns, 23-20. So lost to Cleveland at home. They lost to the Bengals at home, so that was the last 2 games. They beat the Bills 23-20. The Bills beat them. And then Dolphins 38-42. So not really a great, not a great really home record, right? When you're looking at the record, 2-2, 1-3 against the number. While Carolina, not as well. Haven't won a road game yet this year. 0-4, 1-3. I think the team here, I think Baltimore's the play, but I don't lay 12.5. I just can't. If you have to do it for a contest, or if you're forced to play it, if I was forced to play this game, I would lay to 12.5. But just can't trust Carolina. Let me see. But look at this. Coming off a home win as a dog, 13-6. 13-6. I believe this last 3 years, 13-6, or no, was it 83? I'll have to go double check. Sometimes when I get these stats, like 19, there's no, so this is since 83, because there's not 19 coming off a home dog win after a home dog. Since 83, coming off a home win as a dog on the road. So anytime Carolina's on the road, coming off a home win as a dog, 13-6. But not 83, because Carolina came into the league in what, 90s? Was it the 90s they came in? All right, let's get to your next one here, and let's go to Cincinnati-Pittsburgh. This is an intriguing matchup. Hey, there's the key word right there, intriguing. -3.5 is the line for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are now 3-2 in their last 5, 4-1 against the point spread. And I believe these two teams met a couple of weeks ago. Didn't they meet? I thought they met. September 11th. It was 23-20. The first game of the year, right? That was the first one of the year. 23-20 Steelers. Steelers got that win. Was that a Monday night win? I can't remember. 23-18 is what I have as a final. I like Pittsburgh in this one. I like the Steelers. Even though they're 2-2 at home this year, 3-6 on the overall. In their last 10 head-to-head meetings against the Bengals, they are 7-3 straight up. Obviously, I got to give the edge here to the quarterback position here for Cincinnati with Burrows. But going into this game, The value edge, what's my value? Plus 2.5, and I'm getting 3.5. And look at that, minus 3.5. So fair market value if you do like the Bengals. A 55% chance of winning for Cincy, but a 50 for the home dog. I like Pittsburgh. I do like the Steelers this weekend. I like the fact that they've played well against the Bengals last 10, 7-3. And looking at the other stats and trends down here, yeah, look at all the trends on the Steelers, right? Pretty good. 11-3 coming off a bye at home since '83. Really good. I like the Steelers this weekend. We play the Pats next, says Who's Mizzou. Kansas City for Thomas Maggio. And yeah, so what do you guys like here? Do you like the Steelers or the Bengals? Let me know. Just all serious in here, class in session. Yeah, it is kind of serious, eh? Holy cow.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I forgot to have fun here during the football section. Hey, between the football segment here, I forgot to have some fun here. But you know, that's the thing in with this show, right? It's like I call it the mullet. You know, it's business on top, party in the back. But when we get to football, it's kind of business, right? There's the thing in when you do these types of shows, there's a time to have fun, but a time to be serious. Because you know, when you're playing with other people's money, yeah, it's there has to be a bit of a seriousness to it. But we do have a lot of fun on this show, right, Rex?
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Yeah, I demand we have fun too, Rex, because that's what life's all about. You got to have fun. All right, speaking of fun, the LA Rams, I don't know how much fun they're having. Holy cow.
Holy cow!
Or as Joe Namath would say,
Struggling.
yeah, the LA Rams are struggling this year, and so are the Saints. The Saints on the season, 3-7. So misery loves company, and they're meeting in the Superdome this weekend. The Rams going to this one as a road underdog. -3. Talk about, you know, you go from Drew Brees, you know, the Sean Payton to, and you know, the last year's the Super Bowl champs. The last year would have been a great matchup, right? This year it's like, holy crap, who's going to watch this game? -3.5. 2017 is what I have as a forecast. Both teams are 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games. The Saints 1-4 against the number. I do have the Saints winning at 59.6 on the percentage play. The chance of covering the COC, very high for both teams. That's because they're both not doing well against the point spread. And looking at the numbers, you can see the Saints 4-6 in their last 10 head-to-head meetings against the Rams, 3-7. And when LA goes to New Orleans, hey, 500, 5-5 straight up and against the point spread. Last time these two teams met was 2019, September 15th. It was a 27-9 victory as a 2-point favorite for the Rams. And looking at the numbers out here, the trends. After a division game, last 3 years, the Rams are 8-3-1 against the number. Coming off a game where they scored exactly 17 points since 1983, 10-2-1 against the number. And if you do like, if you like the under this year, this weekend between the Rams and the Saints, anytime you get an NFL road team that scored exactly 17 points in your last game, 10-20 to the under. Look at this one here. Road teams coming off a 10-point loss, 12-2 to the under. Wow, that, you know what? The under might be where you want to go in this one. There's some pearls for you right there. Hey, the under between the Rams and the Saints. All right, let's get to the next one between the Raiders and the Broncos. Wow, talk about another
Struggling.
Yeah, this is as if Rex Ryan walked into the Broncos locker room, this is the first thing he would say.
How about our offense? When are we going to put it together? When are we going to put it together? Can we not run the ball down their throats every snap? Can we not throw it anytime we want to fucking throw it?
A little Rex, a little beep right there. But this is basically a pick'em game here against the Raiders. 21-17 is what I have as a forecast. Denver 1-4 straight up. So is the Raiders in the last 5. Both teams are 2-3 against the number. Denver, yeah, when you don't score points, you see a lot of unders, right? The last 5 games for Denver have gone under the total. I don't know where I got this -7. That's analytics for you, right? -7 on the value index. You got to be desperate to bet this game. That's all I got to say about that. The Broncos 2-8 straight up and against the number in the last 10 games. And looking at the point spread trends, let me see if there's anything to write home about. The Raiders since '83 as a road team, coming off a game where they scored 20 points 10-4 against the point spread. And let's take a look at the Broncos. Okay, so this is interesting. Last 3 years, any NFL home teams coming off 5 unders, 7-3 against the point spread. That's interesting. If I had to pick this one, yeah, I'll have to go with the Broncos. Maybe a home edge there, but I don't like this here. 2-8. But you know what? Here's the thing, right? Like Ross Benjamin says all the time, think like a bookmaker. I bet you if you do a poll right now, I would say about 65% of the people are going to be on the Broncos. Am I in the right ballpark and thinking that way? I think a lot of the betting public is going to be on the Broncos. And what's the golden rule of sports betting? When everybody goes one way, what do? You're supposed to go the other way, right? Or when in doubt, get out. And that's what I would do. I wouldn't even touch this game with a 10-foot pole. All right, the Sunday night football game of the week. You got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the LA Chargers. Now the Chargers, a home underdog in this one by 4.5. The over-under set at 52.5. I got a 28-25 victory for Kansas City. I told you guys this week, if you give me $100 and they tell me, you say, Ron, here's $100. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Right now, November 18th, I say Kansas City. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are probably the top dog in my book to win the Super Bowl. And I'm a Bills fan, right? So it pains me to say that because I just don't like, but everything changes in a New York minute, right? Like, you go 2 bad losses like that, like, But yeah, I think Kansas City would be the team right now. All right, let's ride. Yeah, let's ride. Hey, as Bart Scott would say, let's ride. I love when he does that. All right, 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the point spread for last 5 for the Chargers. So if you look right here, last 5 games, 4-1 for KC, 3-2 for the Chargers. The Chargers coming off a bye. Are they coming off a bye? Yeah, they are. So is no, they're not. Okay, in the 18th. Yeah, no, they're not coming off a bye. Let me take a look at the stats down here. Coming off an AFC, 9-2. Okay, nothing really here to write home about. All right, nothing in the trends. The one thing with Kansas City, though, it's they're not a really good point spread team because I call it the Mahomes factor. They'll win straight up, but they don't cover the spread a lot, right? In fact, let me go here. Let me go take Kansas City. Let me just see. Chiefs, home or away, say against any team. Let's do last 15. See, 11-4. See, this is what I call the Mahomes factor. So the Kansas City Chiefs, home or away, last 15 games, 11-4 straight up, 7-8 against the number. And let me see what else. Let me see on the road. So on the road, last 15, 10-5, 7-7-2. And let me see here for 1. It should be 1, not 2. And its average score is 31-25. I can see that being a score this weekend. 31-25 for the Chiefs. Give me Kansas City this weekend. Probably going to be one of my top plays. Kansas City, and what's the money line on that? And I'll probably take the money line. I'll probably take the money line on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me see what the Kansas City. We're going to Kansas City. Kansas City, what's the money line? KC 230. Yeah, a little expensive. A little bit expensive, but you know what? I think that's the right play. Kansas City 7-2, and you know what? The corner of their eye, they're seeing Buffalo. Hey, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on the corner of their eye saying, "Hey, did you see last week? I think we still got a shot for home field advantage throughout the. We can still make the people come through Arrowhead to go to the Super Bowl." Hey, just saying how coaches think, right? And players think, hey guys, and just because of that, they're not going to go up there and say, hey, we're going to win by 50. But it's still a little bit of motivation to try harder. I like Kansas City this weekend. Give me the Chiefs money line. It's a little chalky, but you know what? You won't get Tesla and micro. Well, you might get Tesla out of penny stock pretty soon, but no, you won't get you won't get blue chip stocks at a penny price, right? So if you want to pay the price, you'll pay the piper. San Francisco against Arizona. This game will be played in Mexico City, I believe. Is it Mexico City? Where's it? Yeah, Mexico City, Estadio Azteca. For my Mexican friends, that's where the game will be played this weekend in Mexico, and that's always a good fight. There's always a good atmosphere. When you saw last week in Germany, man, the Germans they ate it up. They loved it, and it's fun to see where people go there. And you see Brady. He said a joke where he goes, "Maybe after my career, I'll go play in the CFL." Come on down, Tom. Hey, come on down to Ottawa. We'll take you here in Ottawa. Have fun. I got a room I can rent you. Come play for the Ottawa Red Blacks, and we'll have a lot of fun. Hey, we'll have fun.
Can we have fun?
Yeah.
You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Yeah, we'll have fun, and we'll have fun watching this Monday night game between the 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. I got a 24-20 victory for San Francisco. San Francisco, since the McCaffrey trade, it's as if they're a new team, right? They found a new weapon, and hey, why not? You got a great player. And for McCaffrey to get out of Carolina, you know, when you're playing on a team, you know you're not going to win playoffs. You kind of lose your edge. You know, like it's just your motivation to go to work, your joie de vivre, as they say in French, to go to work every day, right? And now that you it's like, wow, look at this, we're you know, we can go to the Super Bowl, we can, you know, we're 5-4, we're on the right track, and in Arizona, oh boy.
Struggling.
Yeah, give me the 49ers this weekend, and yeah, I think they win by, I know the forecast is 24-20, but look at that, 78% chance of winning compared to 39. I'll go with the 49ers all day. All right, Herbert never lost to them more than 6 points, says Thomas. All right, good information, Thomas. Hey, Thomas is hey, he's on the ball here today. I love it. All right, the Bills have not scored a second half touchdown since week 6. Wow, unless you count the one they gave to the Vikings. Yeah. Wow, good information, Scott. Timmy Two Shoes, hey, what is all serious? Hey, got me all fired up there, Timmy. All right, so there you have it. That is the NFL. Now, I'm going to look at the, since it's already bottom of the hour, and I do have some college football plays. So this weekend, I'll give you my contest picks. This is what I took in my contest pick for the NFL. All right, this is what I have, what I put at the World Series. I took Tennessee last night, +3. I got Baltimore, -12.5. I took Dallas, -2.5. Kansas City, -5.5. San Fran, -7.5. I love the Steelers, +3.5. And I like the Colts, +6.5. Those are my World Series of Handicapping contest picks for this weekend. And if I were to play that one play here, and you're saying, okay, what's a good play to... I like KC and I like the Colts. I think those are two really good plays this weekend. KC money line. All right, for the college football now... Remember yesterday during the show, I was talking with Ross, and I said, you know, Ross, next weekend is rivalry weekend, right? And this is a tough weekend for a lot of teams, because if you're perfect in the college football, or you know, you're looking, a lot of these teams now, they know the next 2 weeks, it's the difference between Orange Bowl and the Liberty Bowl, right? Like these teams are bowl surfing right now. They're trying to get to a bowl game, but I'm looking at the schedule this weekend. Let me go to my college football chart, and let me go. I don't know what chart I should bring. I'll go college football, the computer chart. Hey, are we having fun yet? Hey,
can we have fun?
Yeah, we're having fun. All right, you guys still there? Hey, I see there's only 30 watching. Did I lose half my crowd or what? All right, here we go. College football, and you can see tonight. What's tonight? The 18th. Any games tonight? Yeah, I think there is, South Florida, Tulsa. I got a 35-23 win for the Golden Hurricanes against the Bulls, 35-23. And what else I got? I got New Mexico against San Diego, the Aztecs, San Diego State. Wow, that's a low-scoring game, 11-8. That's analytics for you. Maybe the under is where you want to go on that one. And yeah, so all right. So I looked at some of this. What I did is I went into the top 25 rankings, and I went to see which teams were playing what, right? So Kansas State playing West Virginia. Yesterday, Ross Benjamin gave us West Virginia +7.5. The thing is, all these teams that are ranked, check out who they're playing this weekend and who they got on deck, right? Kansas State taking on Kansas next weekend. Kansas State at number 15. Are they going to be looking ahead to the Jayhawks? You know, the Jayhawks, I know when you think Kansas, you're thinking of, you know, a great basketball team. Well, they've been a good football team the last couple of years, right? They've been competitive. West Virginia, something to look at this weekend, all right? All right, good. I see that my guys are on the ball. Checking in late. Good morning, Coach. Let's have a great weekend. We want winners. Yeah, I'll give you a winner.
I want winners.
There you go. Bien Trabajo. How you doing there, Bien? Herbert never lost. Yeah, we got that. All right, so keep an eye out on West Virginia. Arizona State is taking on the Beavers this weekend, right? Oregon State Beavers taking on Arizona State as a 7.5-point road favorite. Now, Oregon State, what do they call it? The Civil War next weekend against Oregon. They could be looking ahead to that game, so you might want to consider Arizona State this weekend +7.5. Let me take another look. Notre Dame is taking on USC next weekend, but before that, they got to take care of Boston College Boston College plus 20.5 is what you might want to look at. Clemson taking on South Carolina next week. That's not really nothing. They got Miami this weekend, so I'm not going to touch that. Ohio State taking on Michigan. There's the big daddy of them all, right? Next weekend, when you think rivalries, that's the biggest one in college football, right? Ohio State minus 27 against Maryland this weekend. I like Maryland. Plus 27. I think Ohio State, not going to show much. You know, obviously, they'll probably play a vanilla defense. Get enough to win. Keep everybody healthy for next week, right? So if they can get a good lead at halftime, maybe play the backups late in the third, fourth quarter, and to conserve those starters for next weekend, right? You got to think like that. Think like a bookmaker. Georgia taking on Georgia Tech next weekend, but who cares about that game? They got to worry about Kentucky. I like Louisville. I do like Louisville on the money line against NC State. You got NC State taking on North Carolina next weekend. North Carolina is also, I believe, they're a ranked team, if I'm not mistaken. Or are they or are they not? Let me see here. North Carolina. Yeah, number 13. That's right. All right, so Penn State taking on Michigan State this weekend. Rutgers this weekend. They got Michigan State next weekend. That's nothing to write home about. Georgia Tech taking on North Carolina. Now, North Carolina taking on NC State. That's always a big one, right? The Carolina Bowl right there. And North Carolina taking on Georgia Tech. But Georgia Tech, let me see here.
Struggling.
Yeah, not something you want to look at. Tennessee taking on, that's too bad here, right? Tennessee taking on South Carolina this week, and they got Vandy next weekend, so they're looking pretty good in the bowl situation, and they're number 5 ranked team, right? Tennessee, number 5 in the country, taking on Vandy next week, so they could, now they need style points, right? Hey, there's a good angle for you guys. If you're thinking of Tennessee the next 2 weeks, they're playing South Carolina this weekend, and they got Vandy next week. 2 teams they should beat, and they'll be like minus 20 favorite in both games. Style points. They need style points. They probably got to win by about 30, 40 points if they want to crack the top 4 again. Number 5, Tennessee. Oklahoma State taking on Oklahoma this weekend. That's always a good one, right? And Oklahoma State taking on West Virginia next week. But Oklahoma State, this is the game they probably looked ahead last week, right? And one thing with Oklahoma State, though, they're always better as an underdog. UCLA taking on Cal next weekend, but you know what? They're in a Southern Cal, they're in a Cal sandwich right now. Southern Cal this weekend, and then Cal next weekend, and Southern Cal's got Notre Dame next week. LSU, number 6 LSU, taking on Texas A&M next weekend, but they got to take care of UAB this week. So I don't know if that's a big look-ahead game for Texas A&M. Maybe if they were a little bit better, but no, I don't think so. Washington, all right, this is but it's too bad they're playing Colorado. Minus 31 against Colorado, and they got Washington State next weekend, so that could be a look-ahead game right there. Illinois taking on Michigan. Now, I was at first when I was doing my handicapping on this game, I was saying, man, I love Illinois in this spot, but I looked at their running back situation, and both running backs are banged up for Illinois, so that's my only concern, because when you think of Illinois, they're a running team, right? And their top running back, was it Chase Brown, or I can't remember what's his name. Let me go to the running back for Illinois. Let me see if there's an update. College football. All right, let's go teams. Depth chart. Let's go Big Ten. Let's go Illinois. Big Ten. There we go. Illinois. Yeah, Chase Brown, that's it. And Josh McCray. Both are questionable. So if you're looking at that game this weekend, be careful. If both those running back play, I love Illinois this weekend. I like the 2 go against of Michigan and Ohio State, right? That's basically what I'm getting at. TCU taking on Iowa State next weekend, but they got a big one this week against Baylor. And then you got Tulane taking on Cincinnati. Nope. Love UL Lafayette this weekend. Florida State taking on UL Lafayette. I do. We just all right. We're back. Florida State taking on UL Lafayette. I love the Raging Cajuns. Is that UL Lafayette? Plus 24 this weekend. Plus 24 this weekend against Florida State. Give me Florida State's got Florida next week, the Battle of Florida. So that'll be a good one, right? All right, so there you have it. Those are those situational games I wanted to share with you guys. And let me see my back here. I see that. Okay, there we go. We're back. I'm just looking at the replay there, and we timed out for a second. we're back. Nothing to worry about. Show your support. Okay, that's nice. All right, college football picks this weekend. Here's 5 that I looked at, and I'm I've made a couple of picks already. They're into the members area. So if you go to our members pick, here, let me show you. Hey, Freebie Friday here on the Ram Report. Let's go to my picks. I've already played 2. I played Louisville. Right there, money line, and I got UL Lafayette plus 24.5. Now the other 3 that I'm going to look at: Arizona State, but beer and pizza money, a C-type team, neutral 40 days. Maryland plus 27. I really like Maryland. I think Maryland plus 27 is a pretty good number. Illinois plus 18. Be careful on that. Again, to me, it's the 2 running backs. They have to play this weekend, and those are the 5 plays that I like this week. All right, hey, well, you know what? I can't leave without some Canadian football Grey Cup action this weekend in Regina at Mosaic Stadium. Hey, this is our Super Bowl here up in Canada. You got the Toronto Argonauts taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Now the Bombers a 6-point favorite against the Argos. Now the Argos totals at 47.5. I have a 26-21 final score here for Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg wins this game straight up. And, they're 2-time defending Grey Cup champions. And minus 4.5 is the line here, is that I have a 70.2% chance of winning. I like Winnipeg. I know the money line's a little bit high, but I'm not going to lay the money line. If you're going to play this game, beer and pizza money. The one thing with Super Bowls and all that, I don't normally bet these big main events, is because the line is so magnified. The whole world's on this game. The line is so sharp. But if you're going to play this game and for fun and beer, Winnipeg. I like Winnipeg minus 6. I know my forecast has 26-21. It's supposed to be nice and sunny in Regina on Saturday. I look at the weather report. It's supposed to be -1 and sunny, and that's bad news for the Argos. When you look at the Argos and you look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the funny thing is, it's the last 3 games of the year they played the Alouettes for Toronto, and the last game of the year there was a nothing game for both these teams, right? But Winnipeg, man, this is a tough team. Caleros he did get banged up in his last game against the Lions. He got a little bit of an ankle injury, so we'll see what his ankle's like this week. But this defense with Jefferson, Jeff Coat, man, these Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they're ball hawks. If you watch a Winnipeg Blue Bomber football game, this secondary I'll put it up there. And you know what? Toronto's secondary is not that bad too. It is not Peters, the DB for Peters. I think he's an NFL type player. I don't know why teams down south don't pick up this defensive back for the Toronto Argonauts. But I'm going to go with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this weekend, and that's your CFL 109th classic edition of the Grey Cup. I do like the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Speaking of features at the website, you go to atsstats.com, then you go to NFL. Here's our top 25 sports betting options for this week. Top 5, number 5, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Arizona, San Fran, New England. And these are the top situational handicapping spots. And if you watch the show, you know what that means. And if you watch the show, you know what this means, right?
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Yeah, I hate laying points, but I will be taking K-State minus 7.5 to Scott Champion. ATS Calculator has K-State winning by 17 against West Virginia. Oh, going against Ross the Boss. Hey, that's okay. All right, your top 50 sports betting NFL trends for week number 11 in the National Football League. Actually, it is week 11, so I got to change that right there. It's not week 10, it's week 11. The number 1 trend this weekend here at ATS, the Kansas City Chiefs, 20-1 as an away team against an AFC West division opponent the last 7 years. The Patriots, 15-1 in the month of November the last 10 years. AKA Brady. The under 13-1. Remember I talked about the Giants under a home record? It's absolutely crazy. 13-1 the last 2 years on a Sunday. The Packers, that they lost last night. The Ravens 12-1 as a 10 or more home favorite, playing on the home team last 10 years. Played as a home team, yep. The Ravens, the Chiefs, all right, those are pretty good ones. Let's go to the old 80% club stat. I always love going to the old version of our stats. The 80% club stat, the new one, they're short form, and I like the longer form. Look at this one. Hey, just look at the Colts. Anytime Indianapolis is a 3.5 to 6.5 point underdog before a non-division game, coming off an AFC division opponent, 13-1 against the point spread, 12-2 straight up. Pretty good, right? That's a dog number right there. Hey, a dog's breakfast right there. What else we got? The Buffalo Bills. You know what? Because that game's changed, I'm not going to touch that stat. Let me see any other good ones. The Saints as a 3.5 to 6.5 favorite against an NFC West division opponent, and they scored more than 10 points in back-to-back games. 11-3 against the number, but 12-2 straight up. And the New York Football Giants as a 3.5 to 6.5 point favorite before a non-division game, scored 22 to 28.4 last game, 19-4 straight up. And there you have it. Those are your 80% club stats, courtesy of.
We talking about practice.
80% club stats at atsstats.com. All right, woo. Hey, that was a big show today. Hey, that was a big show, and even got my good friend. Hey, even got that for my good friend FU Cancer. Hey, with all the new sound bites today. And again, Gloria K, I want to thank you for being a member for 9 months. If you scroll up, you can see anytime you're a member of ATS, you get a little star and loyalty. I appreciate the loyalty of Gloria K for being a member of atsstats.com. All right, folks, there you have it. That is that's the rain report for a friendly football Friday. Today is November 18th, and as Norm Peterson would say,
it's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Yeah, and hopefully this weekend we can show you the money.
Show me the money!
And in the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you back here on a Friday, on a Manic Monday, and is a Cash Out Monday, and we'll see you back here next week. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, and where's Harry Carey? All right, Harry Carey, let's go.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Joe owned the Chiefs.
Owns.
I don't know.
Struggling.
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow!
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on out here?
Woo! If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
Look over there, big red lips and long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there. Hey, now, would you look over there? Long black boots and long hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there. Ain't no girl like you. No girl like you. I just want to talk to you. Come on, let's drive around. Take the top down, fool around. Come on, let's drive around. Take the top down, fool around.
Hey!
Hey, now, would you look over there? Big red lips and long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you a stare. Like the way you walk when you walk over there.
Hey, baby, we're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All right, have a good weekend, folks. We'll see you back next week.